everybody. Welcome to Yarnyak. We're back again. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Julie Peterson. Anyway, welcome to Yarnyak, where we yak about yarn and anything to do with yarn and anything else we want to yak about. I'm Kimmer.
I'm Carla.
And we are coming to you from the Stash in Baldwin, Wisconsin, which is our local yarn shop. That does not sell cheese.
We do not sell cheese. We like cheese.
We love cheese.
We will consume cheese.
We will totally consume cheese, but we do not sell it.
We do not sell it.
We do not.
I might even share cheese.
I will leave you wondering why I decided to announce that on this video. I'm sure you can percolate up a reason why I would do that, but we do not sell cheese.
We do not, in fact.
Kind of like we don't rent pigs from Lonesome Dove.
We do not. We do not rent pigs.
We do not rent pigs. Anyway. It's been another interesting, very interesting week here at the Stash. We have been going crazy, getting things done for the YPC, getting the Halos donation ready. I just finished it literally seconds before we went on tonight. So what we've been working on this week, Kimmer has been making pom-poms for the Baldwin Parade like a crazy person.
That Kimmer's amazing.
And finishing the blanket for my portion of that donation. Julie Peterson dropped off the sweater and booties for it, which are perfect.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And so adorable and so perfectly well made.
Yes.
Thank you, Julie.
Nicely done, Julie.
I will post pictures on our Facebook page of this donation as soon as I have the last two components from our third maker, who is Megan Fry. She is making a hat and a little diaper butt cover to go with this layout set. And as soon as I have those, I will post pictures of the completed set before we let Halos know they can pick it up. So that's what I've been working on this week. So I don't have anything posted on our webpage, on our website this week for what we've been working on, because it's been nuts and I haven't had time to do that part of it. And anyway, I can't give you a pattern for pom-poms, but we do have a video on our YouTube channel, I believe, of how to make a pom-pom. I think it's on our YouTube channel. If it's not, it's in our Facebook videos. Either way, we have one if you need to know. Carla, what have you been doing this week that I also don't have pictures of?
Messing off.
She's been
doing
whatever she feels like. She's been exploring patterns and different ideas.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of
what,
a rebel.
What you got going on right there
Look
right
at
now?
This.
That is very pretty.
Feel it.
Oh, it has lots of squish.
Mm-hmm.
Squish.
Yes.
I like this.
It's just front posting and back posting and continuing it the whole way.
On a tiny hook.
It's enough. I went from an E to an F.
It's an F.
Yep.
3.75 millimeter in case you don't know what F is.
Yep. Sorry. It's a 3.75 millimeter.
Which is tiny to me. Tiny. So anyway,
I think
we've just been, having a little bit of the Yarny blues, I think.
Yeah. We've
been talking about it for a couple of weeks that we should do a show about doing it. So we decided tonight to do part 2 of Stitch Your Self-Care Winter Edition, the Yarny Blues. We're going to talk a little bit about what I mean by that. So anyway, if you ever have any questions other than this week about our yarn or patterns or things we're working on, you can always visit our website at www.shopthestashbusters.com and click on Yarnyak at the top of the page. And then you can see all kinds of different things, stuff that we're doing and yarns we're using and pattern links and things like that, as well as Instagram pictures and posts of past projects.
All the things.
All the things. And if you're on our website, you can check out our YPC page, which is our annual charity drive that we do here at the Stash every year. We're kicking into high gear. We're starting to zoom in on some goals a little bit, making some big progress. We got a lot of makers registered working on this project with us. We are so grateful for all of our support from sponsors, from suppliers, and of course our fabulous yarn community here of makers that are just stitching away on this charity project. You guys, can I just give you this? I love you guys. You are all so amazing. You're so amazing. And I'm so proud of you. So anyway, in case you have been a little blue with your yarn, there's a whole nother thing. Like there's, winter blues and, cabin fever and all that. But there's this whole other thing that happens to stitchers that we call the Yarny blues. Some people call it losing your crojo. Some people call it, various versions of that. But I call it the Yarny blues because I'll tell you why. It is a real thing, and it has some kind of it, sorry, it has some kind of repeatable, like a lot of people experience some facet of it, and some of the things I'm going to talk to you about tonight. So we thought we'd talk about it a little bit, blow some of the conflict away from it, take some of the shame and the guilt out of it, because don't we all love to do that to ourselves? Shame and guilt, shame and guilt.
Yeah.
You know,
We are our biggest critic.
we are our biggest critics. So when I say the Yarny Blues, I'm kind of talking about that feeling that, you know, you want to make something, but you don't know what, or you're making something, but it doesn't hold your interest. We have a determined person trying to call the shop on the camera phone, so I'm gonna silence this. We're talking about things like that. So it's the middle of winter. You've been stitching like, you know, just a joyous, crazy yarn maniac for months, right? You go, 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 go. You've made a million things and you're super excited. And then all of a sudden you have like 50 more projects that you want to do, and you can't make yourself pick up or stick with any one of those projects for more than 5 minutes.
Right.
Like that's the thing that happens. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you think about it, it may have happened to you. You look at Facebook, Instagram, your email, you watch TV, you shop for patterns, you shop for yarn. All the while you have a project in your lap and you're wondering, you know, like, oh my God, I need to finish this. What's wrong with me? I'll tell you, you have the Yarny Blues. There's actually nothing wrong with you. You just have winter Yarny Blues. If you are a person who feels that time not stitching is time wasted, but you find yourself not stitching when you could be, you just might need to give yourself some breaks. Both give yourself a break, like cut yourself some slack, but also give yourself some permission to take some breaks from yarn, even just short ones. You're not a machine. You're not a machine. You don't have to feel the same way with the same passion and enthusiasm about yarn 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Sometimes our passions need to be recharged and they ebb and flow a little bit. Recharging your batteries is a really common phrase people throw around, but everybody goes through a point in the year, especially this time of year, where you need to do that with yarn projects. So if it's stress and guilt and no joy, you got to take a break. And I don't mean like, oh, I have to take a break. Like what? Don't yarn for a month? No, I do not mean that. Of course I don't mean that. That's not what I want you to do. But try some of these things. Everyone needs to talk to me between 7 and 7:30 on Tuesday night tonight, apparently. Sorry about all the noise, you guys, for my phone. Try some of these things. Try doing something that there is never time or motivation for, usually that where you know, stitching is your number one preferred activity. Try doing one of those things that you would normally deem a waste of time, and go ahead and enjoy it, you know. So things I like to do. I have a stupid video game that I play sometimes when I just can't even with anything anymore. It's just dumb, but it's okay. And I also like to play euchre and Yahtzee. I know, I'm a nerd, and I love Jeopardy or any other kind of trivia game. So I like puzzle things. When I cannot create, I like to solve. So that works for me. That's one of the things that I do that can work for me. Read a book. I know, right? But read a book. Try to find a book you like. Try to find a book someone else like. Maybe you'll like it. Go ahead and just lay in a chair and read without doing anything. It's hard, I know, but you might get into the book and like it. And if you take a couple days to read a book, you know, it's not the end of the world. Your yarn will still be there.
It won't spoil. Waiting
for you, as you well know. Those whips don't get done by themselves, and they don't have to. Unless you have a project that has a clock on it, none of your whips will mind waiting a day or two or an hour or two for you to take a break. Right. And there's nothing wrong with you that you want to do that. Nothing. So what else, Carla?
You can take a night off instead of sitting in your yarn chair. After dinner, try
we all
taking
have
a bath.
A yarn chair.
Yeah, we do.
We all have a favorite yarn chair.
Let's be honest. You know, take a night off, take a bath, bubble bath with a book, or playing a game with your kids or spouse. If
you like those people.
Yes, if they complain, tell them you need a little love and attention. I bet you don't normally ask for it outright.
God knows we usually do not ask for love and attention outright. I that's one of the things I will tell you right now, and I'll admit it on TV. on Facebook that I do to my husband because he hates playing games like Yahtzee and cards and stuff. And I require someone to play a game with. So I will be like, I need your love and attention. I don't say love. I just say, I need your attention. And he says, what do you want me to do? And I say, I want you to play Yahtzee with me. And he'll be like, after dinner, 1 hour. And I'm like, you got it. You're on. But he'll play with me. So, sometimes you just got to ask. It's okay if it's not their favorite thing to do, It's okay. They'll still play with you.
That's it, exactly.
Because I bet you do stuff for them that's not your favorite thing to do. All the time. Stop it.
I'm not.
Okay. So another thing you can do if you're of this kind of mind, this is a great time to plan a spring project. It gives you something to look forward to. Something simple like planting some patio planters with some herbs and veggies like tomato plants or something in them. Find the pot, figure out what you want to plant, blah, blah, blah. Decide where you're going to buy your starts from, or if you're going to try starting them yourself. You don't even have to go that far. You can keep it really simple. But just plan a simple spring project, even making like a wreath or something, some kind of spring decor for your front door or your porch or your outdoor patio area or whatever. Plan a vacation. I'm currently planning a vacation that won't happen until September, but that's okay because it's giving me something to look forward to. Put it on the calendar, make a shopping list, think about like the things you might need to watch for over the spring or the summer to buy for your vacation. These things give you something to look forward to, and they occupy your brain in a productive way. And if you're going to sit on your phone looking at nothing, you might as well sit on your phone doing something that's for something that's right. Giving you something to look forward to. Otherwise, you're just going to buy 75 more patterns you don't have time to make. You know what I'm saying? I know. Sure. I know you know what I'm saying. Another thing you can do that I am doing right now is make a brunch date with someone that you like. Go somewhere where there may possibly be some sun, somewhere with windows. Any room you can spend time in that's sunny and bright, even if it's cold outside this time of year, is a good thing. That is a good thing. We are all super low. If you live around here anyway, you're super low on vitamin D right now. I guarantee it. You can go shopping for ingredients for something and make it. So like most of us would rather yarn than cook almost any day. By most of us, I mean most of us, not you, Chris. You know what I mean? So one of the things that is fun to do if you don't regularly have to cook, or if you really enjoy cooking, is come up with a meal you've never made before, or a dish or a baked item or whatever that's new to you, and then go shopping for the ingredients and go home and make it. And just don't worry about your yarn for a little while. Just do something different. I hesitate to bring this one up because I don't want people throwing things at me. But if you feel like it, okay, if you're of a mind, this is a really good time of year to put your yarn down for a minute and clean or organize something. I'm just saying, like one cupboard or one shelf or the place where everything gets dumped in your house, clean that one corner out quick. Even a whole room if you feel ambitious, but try to do it in the afternoon when you can crack a window on a sunny day and get a little bit of fresh air into your space. Because also the other thing that is happening to you right now that we all know but forget is the air inside our spaces, our businesses, and our homes and stuff is super stale. Wow. It is gross. We have been inside now with everything shut up for months. So even if it's cold, it isn't going to murder your heat bill for you to open the window for 15 minutes or a half an hour and crank the heat up for a second. It's just not. You need fresh air. And I'm sorry, but for me, it's too cold to go outside and get it right now. I know some of you are much braver than me, and that's fine. You go to it, but I'll open the windows. Yeah. Just for a minute. Only another month or two, and we should be to the point where we might be able to open the windows for afternoons. But right now, it's 15 minutes will help.
I tell you what, if I would have had the day, I would have sat outside with my insulated mug and had my coffee and spent the day outside.
Blanket on your lap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's too cold for me.
Yeah,
still.
It was nice
too
and
damp.
Sunny, though. Yeah, it was. I'm not going to say it wasn't chilly, but I am so...
Hurts my boneses.
I would have sat in a snowbank. If I could have
stayed... That's what I'm saying. Like some people are much hardier than I am. I'm just saying, if you're one of those people who is trapped inside, who doesn't go outside until it's like totally genuinely fine. Spring,
Yep.
This is a good
Totally
time to
fine.
open your windows. You need some
So
fresh air.
starved for that.
Yeah,
though.
you
I
are
would have
starved
done
for
it.
fresh air. Yep.
I would have
Yeah,
done it
that's
today.
another thing you can do is try stitching somewhere else besides your usual place. If it's hard for you to concentrate, you're not getting anywhere at home in your usual spot, try things like going somewhere like a coffee shop. Perk has tables that you can sit and stitch at. They have a couple sunny windows. They also have a couch
Yep.
that you can sit on for a little while and have a coffee. I know this yarn shop in downtown Baldwin
Yeah.
that has a very bright and sunny stitch pen,
Yes, it's wonderful.
which you are welcome to sit in and stitch
Yes.
anytime.
It's
You're
amazing.
welcome to.
It's amazing for reals.
And it's nice and warm in that window. And this time of year, that is really nice.
Yeah.
So even if it's gray outside, it's still sunlight comparatively to most other indoor spaces.
Yeah.
Try that. Try stitching somewhere different besides your usual place. I got another one for you. This is one of my favorite things to do. Go to the greenhouse. First of all, just go in the greenhouse. So there's like the Baldwin greenhouse. They have there's like half the greenhouse is like skylights or whatever. Like the ceiling is, you know what I'm saying? So there's light in there. Plus it smells like dirt and plants. And that is going to like make your heart sing this time of year.
You.
Yeah. Go in the greenhouse, walk around for a little bit and buy a freaking plant. It doesn't matter if you're going to kill it in 6 weeks, if it's going to die sitting next to your yard chair, it doesn't matter because it will do something for you now and you can get another plant later. Just go buy a plant. Anything green at all that you can keep alive for a month is worth $20. Totally worth it. You know what I mean? It'll help too. It'll make you feel a little bit better. You can do that any time of the year, but now is a really good time of the year. Go buy a plant.
I agree.
Yeah. I do it all the time. So that brings me to another part of the Yarny Blues, second part of it, which is what some people refer to as too many whips.
What?
If you don't know what I mean by whips just means works in progress, projects that you have ongoing that are not done. We're all different about whips. Some people have really strict rules for themselves where they only allow themselves to do one thing at a time. I don't know how they do that. Honestly, I think that's really amazing in some ways. Other people are more like, 2 or 3, they start getting nervous if they have more than that. Some people, like me, need to have at least 3 or 4 things going at once because the creative energy expended and needed both to and from the projects is how projects get done. I can't just do one thing at a time. I have to be able to flit from thing to thing, and that works for me, works better. But even I get overwhelmed if I have more than like 6 or 7 going at once. I start getting nervous that I'm never going to get any of them done. So if you feel, whatever the number is for you, that you have too many whips and you feel overwhelmed, that tends to happen more this time of year because you have ponied up and sunk in on a few projects that you really want to get done. And you always think, I'll do these over the winter when I have plenty of time to crochet or knit. But what happens this time of year is that you start losing some of your creative mojo and the passion that you have towards these projects might be waning back a little bit. So I had a customer come and talk to me about this not too very long ago, and we discussed it. And I said, one thing you could do that it isn't going to save you or solve your problems, but make a list of your whips, anything that has a definite date that it needs to be done by. For example, if it's for impending birth or a shower or a gift for Mother's Day or a birthday or something like that, get it dated and then prioritize your whips by when they need to be done by and start taking them off that way. Rather than what do I want to do or what do I feel like doing, just kind of suck it up and do it in order and get busy on them. And that way you can individually just concentrate on the next one that has to be done. It makes it a little less overwhelming. You're not thinking about the other ones that you have more time to do. You're only thinking about the one that needs to be done soon.
Right.
And then you can schedule your time or spend what time you have only worrying and working on that one. And that will help a little bit. It doesn't completely save you, but it helps. That other thing you can do is...
Can I just add something to that last thing you said?
Absolutely.
That sometimes it makes you feel more organized and that you're getting there, you're getting closer. And even just the sense of being organized by writing it down.
Yes.
And
it adds to your feeling of productivity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
it gives you just a small measure of control
And,
back
yes.
that you made this. So you
Yes,
know what you
exactly.
have. You're not ignoring anything. You know what you have
and
going, and
right.
you know what
and
needs
that
to be
can
done.
release a lot of the tension
Yeah, I
or
agree.
anxiety that you have.
Yes,
So
I agree.
yeah.
We're going to talk about one last thing when it comes to whips, and that we were actually just talking about this before we went on without even intending to. It is when to and how to stop on a whip. Sometimes we start something with very good intentions, or sometimes we are really excited about something and we go and we start working on it, and for whatever reason, various reasons, we lose our either interest or passion or ability even to complete the thing or even want to keep going on it. I want to tell you that it is okay to stop and go, you know what? I don't like this pattern yarn stitch set.
It brings
whatever.
me no joy.
It's not bringing me any joy. There are several things, well, not several, but at least a few things you can do about that. You can turn the thing into something else. I was telling Carla tonight how I had given up on a wrap project out of a certain yarn that I did not like. And I am not spending all this time making a wrap out of this. I don't like it. I know what's going to happen with this yarn, da, 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 da. It was the mistake of, well, this is really cheap. So this is not going to cost very much money. So I'll make one out of this. Mm-hmm. Stupid. I know better. So I was like, I'm going to throw it away. I don't care. I'm done with it. And she's like, don't throw it away. And I'm like, why? And she said, give it to your cat for a cat bed.
Yep.
They'll love it. And I'm like, I have 2 cats, and you know what? They'll fight over it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because it amuses me.
It's amazing. They love that stuff, and so, they will help you appreciate what you've done.
I mean, it's better than just chucking it.
Yep.
But before you even get to that point, first you have to decide if you're quitting on it, why are you quitting on it?
Is it quitting, or are you just stopping?
Or are you just stopping? Because it's okay to let something go.
Yeah,
it's totally okay. Number 1. And then number 2, is the yarn salvageable? Mm-hmm. Is it the yarn? Could you use the yarn for something else? Do you want to use the yarn for something else? Okay. This particular project I was just talking about, I don't want to use the yarn for anything else. I don't want to use that yarn ever again. So it's okay for me to do what I'm going to do with it, which is give it to my cats and let them fight over it. Because I, again, will be amused by that.
And it'll be entertaining.
It will be highly entertaining to me to watch fat little dainty pumpkin butt take Gus the Maine Coon on over who gets to sleep on this. Yeah. I'll try and take video. Anyway, so there's that. So you have to decide if you want to pull it out and wind it up and reutilize the yarn. Or if you want to chuck it, or if you want to repurpose what you've made into something else, or if you want to just throw it away and be done with it. One of the things that I do with bits and pieces, things I've tried, patterns I started writing that I realized weren't going to work out, yarn I didn't like, whatever, is I sew them on my trees. I yarn bomb the trees outside with things like that. So like, it's not dumb, it's an idea. There's lots of different things that you can do that way, but it's okay to throw things away. It really is okay. A lot of us have a really hard time with that. It's okay to let it go. If you cannot bear the idea of doing that, at least pull it out and donate it. If you don't want to do anything with it, but you can't bear the idea of throwing it away, ball it back up and donate it to Treasures, because somebody who can't afford yarn at all or does something different with it, maybe weaving or who knows what, they'll buy it and they'll do something with it.
Or, just because it's something you don't like doesn't mean that somebody else isn't going to love it.
That's true.
So,
yeah. But sometimes you just have to frog something all the way out and let it go. And especially if you have a bunch of whips to reduce. So my suggestion is to look at your whips and really be honest with yourself about why this one isn't getting done. What's the problem? Do you have a pattern problem to solve? Do you have questions? Are you having trouble with the stitch or your hook or needle size? Is it not working out the way you thought? Those kind of problems, come into the shop. We can probably help you figure out what the problem is, right, and get you going again on it. If it's the yarn, you don't like the yarn, do you want to do the pattern with a different kind of yarn? Again, come into the shop. Maybe we can help you with that. There's various reasons, but once you start asking yourself honestly why a whip isn't getting done, you can narrow this down really quick and make decisions about what to do about it. Does it need to go on your this needs to get finished list? Then after you answer those questions, you can move it over to that list then, you know. I'm not saying if it's not done, throw it away. I'm saying it's okay to make the decision to let a project go
And
if it's not
again,
doing it for you.
And there again, just making the decision will help you move on. Will help you, you know, the anxiety or the depression or anything. Having a whip staring at you that you know you are not doing is just an exercise.
If you know you're not going to do it.
And shame and guilt.
Yep.
Don't do it to yourself.
No.
Yeah.
We like joy. We like the relaxation response. This should be a joyful activity. Not to say that it's not hard work, and not to say that sometimes you don't have to suck it up and, you know, power through an uncomfortable patch or a futzy pattern or whatever. But as a general rule, if it's starting to invoke feelings of shame and guilt, you need to examine whether it's even worth it to do the project in the first place.
Right.
That's all we're
nobody
saying.
Deserves that.
No, none of you deserve that. No. So if you hate the yarn a lot, donate it. If you don't see yourself finishing the project, maybe it is way over your head, or maybe it's way fussier than you thought it was going to be, find a different use for the yarn. You know, but don't sit there with it half finished or third finished or whatever in a bag and stare at it for a year feeling guilty because you didn't finish it. Don't do that. It's not worth it. There's way more projects out there to get made, and there's way more yarn to make them with. You don't have to do that. So I hope that helps you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the Yarny blues.
Yep.
I hope you understand what I mean now when I say Yarny blues. We want you guys to feel good. This craft is so good for you. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, and it does all these great things for your mind and your body. And so you don't want to add layers of shame and guilt and things like that into this, or start questioning, you know, why you do this or what's wrong with you, because you don't feel as excited about it today as you did 2 months ago. These things happen. It ebbs and flows. It'll come right back, especially if you take a break. It'll come right back.
Yep.
And letting go of old whips, it's a thing you just got to do.
Yep.
You'll be happier if you learn how. You will, because I didn't used to do that.
Well, and it's good to know that other people do it, you know, you know, because it's not just you. You're not a failure. Nothing.
No, it's not just you, and you're absolutely not a failure.
Exactly. You know, you just, sometimes things aren't meant to be, and you got to let it go.
And you know what? The more projects you take on, the more things you start making, the more ideas you get, or patterns you decide to try, the more times you're going to bump into one where you're going to be like, oh, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. This is dumb. Why did I start this?
I know it looks good on paper, right?
Yeah. Who is this person who made this? They should get a cookie.
Right.
You know, that you're not the first person or even the last person ever that's going to feel that way. So it's okay to let it go. Here's the thing. When you get the Yarny blues, there's usually a reason for it. And as soon as you figure out what the reason is, it's pretty easy to fix. And those of us that stitch really regularly, it does not take very long before the obsession returns. So it's okay if you feel like taking a break. It's okay if you don't want to finish something that's dumb. It's okay. These things are all okay and normal and happen to everybody, whether they'll admit it or not.
Right. Exactly.
So anyway, we hope you found this episode of Yarnyak helpful and informative. You can always ask us questions anytime by emailing us at askyarnyak@gmail.com. And your question could be an episode of Yarnyak, which would be cool. Be sure to visit our website and check out our Yarnyak page. And also check us out on YouTube. That's a great place to watch Yarnyak or see past episodes of Yarnyak, as well as other helpful tutorials and things that we post on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell if you go to YouTube so that you get notified when we upload. And if you like content like this, check out our page on Buy Me a Coffee.
Buy me a coffee.
Buy me a coffee. The address is in the description. We live on coffee. It makes our brains work and our hands go. So we always want more coffee. All the coffee. Also, it helps support the show and helps us get a hold of things that we need, like cameras and cords and wires and stands and software and, you know, all the stuff we use to run this little rodeo. Right. For the show and other things like it. So anyway, yeah, if you support us on Buy Me a Coffee, you get a sticker. If you stop in the shop, I'll give you a really cool Yarnyak sticker. And you can check that information out on our page.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we will see you. Will we see them next week?
Yes.
We will see you next week.
Next week.
I do not know off the top of my head.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Next week is a surprise.
It's a surprise.
I have no idea what it will be.
Everybody.
I have no to us too.
Yarny Blues.
Yarny Blues. Yeah. It's
Not gonna lie.
It's yeah, we're both in it a little bit. But so we're right here with you, and
Yep.
we'll come back to you next week with a new Yarny show, and we'll see you at 7:00 on Tuesday.
7 p.m.
next week. Good night, everybody, and happy yarning.
You're the best.
Yarn.